It's been 50 years since Destroyer came out. The songs are classic. Every one of them are amazing. Maybe you disagree with that. The cover is awesome. Is this the best Kiss cover of all time? Is this the best music, like rock band cover of all time? I know it's not because it doesn't compare to this Herbie Mann record. There's no way it compares to Herbie Mann. Push, Push, classic. Greg Allman's on it. We're going to talk about, well, we're not going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about Destroyer today on Podcast Rock City Live. What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City. And with me this week, the man, the myth, the legend. By the way, did I mention the new drummer for Twisted Sister, Joey Casada?
What a great episode this is going to be without that moron Sonny Pooney ruining the screen time for everybody.
Let me tell you, I have been waiting for years to try to figure out a time when I could put this Herbie Mann record on the screen. I will tell you guys the story about this. I was in a record store with Karen.
Oh, Lord.
And she was going through the records, and she pulls this out and shows it to me. And the first thing I said was, is that a motherfucking flute on his shoulder?
I didn't even notice that. Of course not. Who the hell's looking at the flute?
He plays the flute. All right.
Lovely man.
Let me tell you, I give these away in the Dirty Santa every year.
Oh.
So, you know, the Dirty Santa, you get the gift and nobody knows what they're getting. Somebody always opens a Herbie Mann. Here's the real crazy part. I didn't even know, like, all the ones I find aren't like this open. Look, that's like two people doing it.
If he's one of them, that's disgusting.
This guy is dead for so many years now. And Greg Allman plays on this record.
I cannot believe that
Jazz.
record is taking up the time. It's already taken up on this show, Joe.
I'm so sorry.
When you moved that beautiful Destroyer cover and unleashed that, I almost vomited.
I called Karen and she was hysterical. All right. Listen, there's a lot to talk about, including some great news. So let's get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
So there you go. We've got the Indie Kiss Expo coming up in just a few weeks now. Everybody knows Paul Stanley will be there 2 days. This is exciting. The guest list keeps growing. So we've got Eric Singer and Barry Levine. I'm very excited to meet Barry Levine. I'm trying to figure out what to have him sign because he's never done an expo. Joey, have you ever met Barry Levine?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither. So I'm very excited about this. You got Eric Singer, Barry Levine. You got John Corabi, Chuck Garrick, Greg Collins, Rafael Moriera. I think I'm going to ruin his name. I apologize. Brent Fitz, Todd Kearns, Zach Throne, DJ Viola or Viola, depends on where you're from. Now Robert Fleischman's on the list.
Can Vinny be close behind?
Man, they better. I swear.
Now look at it's shaping up to be great. Keith is going to go all out. It's going to be amazing. Has he really officially announced musical acts? Like, who's performing? Is it ESP performing? He hasn't really announced it yet, but I do remember on one of his interviews that he said that I think the performances are in one room and the expos in another room. So there are musical performances, right?
Yeah, well, yes, I've been to 2.
Okay.
And then so there's usually there were okay, so this is a new hotel he's doing it at. So I have not been there, of course. The old one I want to say was 3 rooms. So there was a big room that had a stage, seats, and then the outside of the walls, around the walls, were some booths with people selling stuff. Lita Ford was there. There were some people that selling Kiss t-shirts, like all kinds of stuff. Then you go out of one room and there was another room that was smaller by a fourth, by 3/4. It was like 1/4 the size of the big room, right? And it had dealers all around. Then you go across the hall from that, and there was a room that I don't know if it was as big as the concert hall, but it felt really big, and it was loaded with. That's where we met Anton Fig. That's where we met Todd Howarth and the rest of the Fraley's Comet Band. The drummer from the original drummer from Skid Row's name is escaping
Robert
me.
Fuso.
Yeah, he was there. I actually interviewed him. I actually interviewed all those guys while we were there. Lita Ford was there.
But this is different rooms. This is going to be, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the setup has got to be different because it's a different hotel.
Right. So that's what I'm used to. So hopefully it'll be at least, that big. I think, and I'm sure it will. It's going to be spectacular. It seems
but it
like
is confirmed, Joe, that the music, there are musical acts playing, right?
So I have not asked that question yet because I just assume that, but we're a month away.
I could have sworn I heard on one of Keith's interviews that's happening. Does anyone on the chat know that for sure? Because I could have sworn on one of the when he went live, one of the times I was watching, and I was wondering about that, and I think he mentioned it, but he didn't mention who's playing exactly. Obviously, with all the all-stars that are going to be there, you can put up all
Jam
of them
session
together and just do a jam. But I am surprised he hasn't mentioned exactly who's playing, when they're playing, how that's all working.
Yeah, so we're just going to we're just waiting it out to see when there's more announcements. If you look at that picture, there's even another question mark there to basically saying there's going to be even more, I guess at least one more, I'm imagining. So this is very exciting. I'll be there. I know a bunch of you guys are going to be there. I know a bunch of you guys are going to miss it because you're going to be on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I will be vlogging from there. I will be doing interviews from there. If you are, if you're a viewer of our show or a listener and you want to help me out and do a quick little interview with me, that would be amazing. Just say so, because I'm going to ask anyway. Yeah.
There you go. Jared Frank looks like he has the answers, of course. It says Zach mentioned playing with the Eric Singer project. So looks like that's going to be happening. Listen, there's another question mark on that page. I'd be surprised if Bruce wasn't involved. If he's not, he's probably double booked somewhere else. But it's going to be a great weekend. I don't know who on the thread here is going to the Indie Expo. Seems like a great time. You can count on Keith to throw an amazing expo. Let's see who's going here.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I can't wait. I've already been packing up stuff to take with me, to have signed. And, hey, this is, you got to live. LIVIN, right? That's right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Todd and Zach and Brent and Eric. There you go. There's the Eric Singer project right there. Or just a jam, whatever they want to do. They could play anything. It's going to sound incredible.
So that just goes to show you I didn't read. Apparently it says performing live right under the guy. I took it down already. Thank you, McMurphy. You are amazing. So yeah, they're going to have some act. And Todd could play with anybody. He could be like, Joe, come up here, get on the drums. And as sad as it would sound amazing because he'd be singing and playing guitar.
Todd's great.
I
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
keep time. Come on, I sit on the drumsticks and knock them over. Joey will tell you.
What if they asked you to? What if they asked you to come up and play anything for my baby, Joe?
I'm gonna go back to the airport. Okay, so all right. That's one item. We've got another item I want to make sure that we talk about. Let's see right here. Sorry, I just want to make sure that we bring this up correctly. This weekend coming up, Peter Criss is going to be in, I got to get it in the right, Knoxville, Tennessee, March 27th and 28th. That's next weekend. So Knoxville, Tennessee. I don't know how many of you guys are going to make that. I can't go to that one because my son is in a new place. So I have to go, and I say I have to. I want to go and see him in his play. Joey, he's going to be in Orlando in August. And did you know he's going to be in New Jersey in May?
I did hear this, and I heard a rumor that this some handsome podcasters might be there as well. Did you hear anything about this?
Yes, I heard about this. So more news will be coming from that. We just got to get everything, all our ducks in a row, and then we'll fill you in what's going on there. May at the New Jersey Horror Con and Film Festival. I have to say horror because I always say, if I say New Jersey Horror Con, people are like, "There's a porn con coming," and I'm like, "No, it's horror."
And I think that's May 29th, 30th, 31st. Peter will be in New Jersey. If you're in New Jersey, come down and see Peter and maybe some other handsome gentleman.
Yes, and he will be there signing autographs May 29th, Friday, and the 30th, which is a Saturday. Okay. There is a lot to talk about, and we're going to get to it because we've already, I used up 2 minutes on Herbie frickin' Man.
It was as bad as Sonny talking. It was as bad as Sonny talking. I don't know why that guy had to take over. We have Sonny to do that. We have a Sonny free show, and you got to have this moron on?
Listen, I can do the flute. Okay. Anyway, all right. Sorry. Let's go ahead and get to the topic of the week.
Podcast Rock City Topic of the Week.
So Destroyer, it's 50 years of Destroyer. They have released a we'll get to that. We'll take a look at it, but I want you guys to know, if you go on Kiss Online right now, the amazing and powerful Ken Sharp has written a story, Destroyer at 50, the story behind Kiss's legendary 1976 album. There's some cool pictures. There's a whole story. Bob Ezrin interviewed, Paul Stanley interviewed, Ken Kelly. There's an interview from him. They show all of the, like, a lot of the stuff that went along with it. It's a very long article, but it's totally worth it. I'm not going to tell you what it says because I want you to go and read it. But I will tell you that they did release a 50th anniversary Destroyer set. Here it is. Look at this. Bam. Okay. So have you seen this stuff yet, Joey?
No, not yet. It looks cool.
Yeah. So you've got, look at the cover. It's got a gold. It's already sold out, of course. It's a picture disc. It looks like an outtake from the Spirit of 76 tour. It's got a gold. It looks gold. It's probably embossed too. A gold embossed cover. They put out the old belt buckle. Look at that. The replica.
It's not moving, Joe. Is the screen moving?
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta change that. Hold on. Let me get to that. All right.
But so what's sold out? The picture disc is sold out?
The picture disc is sold out. Stop.
Now, when do these become available? How are they?
I think like 2 days ago.
How they sell out? Do they sell out because they specifically print low runs to make them rare, or are they just not printing enough? I don't understand it. Marketing is marketing. If you don't make things sell out so fast, you want people to buy it. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they do this. It's probably done for a specific reason, because they don't know exactly how many people are going to do it, and they basically go to somebody and they must say, "This is how many we need," and then that's all they're going to do.
But it seems like every one of these types of things sell out every time, right? So if they sell out every time, then every time
double
up the order by double, whatever it is.
Yeah, double it. And most of the time when you buy these, you have to it's like $250, and you got to get a hoodie that goes with it. This is like a t-shirt, the record, and it comes with a poster. If you look at the poster, it's, let's see,
and how much
it comes with that, like $179, I think. Look at her boots. Yikes.
So poster, t-shirt, and picture disc.
And it looked like, and I don't see it on here, but it's not showing the other side of the poster. Oh, it's them on the motorcycles. See?
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's them on the motorcycles. Then there's the old like Pacifica belt buckle.
Very cool.
They need to do this with all of the records, that everything that's possible. Like when Love Gun comes out, there was the 4 different Love Gun.
Yeah, the individual ones. Yeah.
Yeah, individual belt buckles. That was cool. Here's another one. This one, anniversary premium. I don't have this one. Karen, jump online, get that for me. It's $40. I'm not kidding. Look, all right. So here's one right here. This is liquid filled.
I mean, why? Why do we need liquid inside the record?
Well, all right. I will say that I think it's cool when you put the record on and the liquid's in there, because it all goes to the outside. It's kind of fancy. The Eric Carr's people did this. Okay.
For which one?
I brought it on. Remember, it was it was blue, and when you turned it,
I remember. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Eric, they did a couple different ones. One was brown, and one was I guess you want to call it brown. The Eric Carr brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then somebody suggested, and I don't know if I'm allowed to mention who, so I'm not going to mention it, but somebody suggested they missed the boat here. So, because it should have been filled with real Kiss blood. I'm just saying, it could have been red.
They might have had to use a lot of blood for that.
Yeah, well, it could have been just a teeny little drop of blood mixed in with all. I don't know. I'm just, it was a very interesting suggestion made by one of my friends, and it's true. This should have been red filled, not whatever color. That looks like clotting blood. All right.
I'm just curious. So I know they sell, like we were just talking about, they sell out again. Same thing on the side here with the comments. Who here is buying this stuff? Are you guys all into this, or is this like second? Does everyone are there limits on how many you can buy, and are like collectors or retailers, like resellers, just buying tons of these and then reselling them on eBay? What's the story with all this stuff? Because Joe, did you buy all of this stuff?
I have none of it. I've bought none of this.
Right. So if Joe's not buying it, who the hell's buying it? Joe buys everything.
Well, here's the thing. I just spent a chunk of money to make sure that I can go to Indianapolis for this event. I don't have any extra money. And not to mention, this is part of the show. I'm going to show you guys this. Okay. Here's a special destroyer that came out a few years back. I actually bought this from Julian Gill at an Indie Kiss Expo. This one, the vinyl, blood red. Okay.
I just don't understand. But how many copies of Destroyer do you have?
This isn't even part of them. Here, look, here's one, different color, Resurrected, right? Different cover. This one also has like a book in it, written, I think, some Bob Ezrin stuff. The vinyl is orange. Orange.
Let me hold on. I want to see the vinyl, Joe. Pull it out.
Okay. All right. This is orange.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice.
Okay. Somebody's gonna be mad that I'm touching the records. They're gonna give me crap.
That's
You
why I
know
made
it.
you do it.
This is the 45th anniversary double LP.
Double. Why? It's pressed different, so it sounds better. Is that why?
Well, it says this is what's on it. LP1 is the original album remastered, which
Okay.
I don't really want. I love the original. I don't need all the little extra get-ups, and I like being able to hear Peter's kick drum better. It's really pushed out in front, because I never noticed until I listened to it that, like, in like Do You Love Me, I always thought it was doom da doom doom da.
Oh, it's a lot of.
It's a lot more than that.
Oh yeah.
Then side one then LP2 is the Paul Stanley demos, God of Thunder. It's called God of Thunder and Rock and Roll, Detroit Rock City, and Love Is All Right. Gene Simmons demos, I don't want no romance, Rock and Rolls Royce, and Star. Side 4 is the rarities, Beth the acoustic mix, Shout It Out Loud mono single edit, King of the Nighttime World live rehearsal instrumental, Detroit Rock City instrumental, Flaming Youth early version, and Shout It Out Loud alternate mix. Previously unreleased as most of these. This is what the vinyl looks like. If I can. It's like, it's got like a...
But these
like
are
a-
not just released, right? These have been
No, this
released
is
over
5 years ago.
Okay, right.
And then this one... That's what it looks like.
Very cool.
It also has a book in with it, okay? But wait, I'm not done.
Oh no.
Don't forget that they put this thing out.
Oh, the box set, right?
So they have a box set out too that has all this stuff in it. So I will say they didn't put a box set out for Destroyer 50th. It's probably good. I think people might have gotten upset going, why'd you put one out for 45? Even though they didn't put one out for 45. You know what I mean? Pop House was not involved with this thing because this is before they were involved. So anyway, let's talk about Destroyer, okay? Where do you rank this album, Joey?
I mean, listen, it's so hard after all these years because this album has so many songs that are played to death, whether it's Detroit Rock City growing up was always my favorite song of all time. But, you know, it's just, we've heard it so many times now that, you know, Kiss did the reunion tour and then the farewell tour and Psycho Circus and End of the Road. And, you know, between that and God of Thunder and Beth and Do You Love Me and Shout It Out Loud, there's so many big songs on that record. So after a while, it becomes one of those records that I don't go to that often just because those songs are so popular. I've heard them a million times. But if I try to remove myself from that, it's incredible. It's one of the best records of all time. If there's a Kiss record that someone said to me, hey, I want to know what Kiss is, and I couldn't give them Alive. I couldn't give them Alive 2. I couldn't give them Greatest Hits. I would have to give them Destroyer.
Yeah. All right, so here's the info on it from Kiss My Wax. It's the Kiss LP Bible Volume 1. Released March 15th, 1976. That's 50 years ago today. Certified gold April 1976. Platinum wasn't even until November, because it took Beth to hit for this to go platinum. It was on the Billboard chart 82 weeks, which is pretty respectable. That's a year and a half, right? A little less than a year and a half. Okay.
I mean, sonically, it's an incredible record. I know the original feedback when it came out, it was too polished, and I wasn't a Kiss fan yet. 75, I was 1 year old, so it's hard for me to understand what people were hearing then, because it sounds like classic Kiss to me. It doesn't. I mean, obviously, it's big, it's grand, it doesn't sound overproduced to me. It doesn't sound. And I know the Eddie Kramer stuff, the Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun are kind of staples of, oh my God, that's raw Kiss production, right? And even the original Kiss demo. But Destroyer sounds just right up there with those records as far as rawness, even though it is a little bit crisper and grander. It's classic Kiss sounding. It sounds perfect.
Yeah, no, it is. It's one of those things. Let me I have a couple of things that I want to show you over here. Wait, what's this one? Oh, that's the blood red one. Okay. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things, but let's talk about the tour real quick, okay? They did 67 shows on the tour. It started April 11th, 1976 in Fort Wayne, Indiana, ended October 1st, 1976 in, of course, New York City. Countries they played: Belgium, Denmark, England, France, the Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, USA, West Germany. Opening acts are crazy. Okay, 38 Special, The Artful Dodger, Blue Oyster Cult, Bob Seger and the Blue and the Silver Bullet Band. I watched an interview with him years ago on the Bob Costas. Bob Costas had a talk show, and he said, "Hey, is it true?" When talking to Bob Seger, did you open for Kiss? He said, "Yeah," and they booed us every night. He goes, and every night I would get off stage and the band Kiss would be there to apologize to us. And we were like, it's okay. We understand, that's how big Kiss was, Brownsville Station, Earthquake, Ethos, Finch, Hammersmith, Jay Giles Band. People don't realize how long that band's been around. It's since before I was born, I think. Kansas, John and Edgar Winter, Montrose. Montrose is
Sammy
Hagar. Point Blank, the Scorpions, Stars.
I remember Sammy Hagar telling a story too that he got booed off, right?
Yeah, I think he hates Kiss. I think he's a big hater of Kiss.
I think he got booed off and he might have left the tour. There's a story behind that. I forget what it is.
Yeah. So this was when Kiss really, really took off. So I'll tell you my first memory of Detroit Rock City. I came to Georgia. I was visiting. I want to say it was like Easter time. And my cousin, who was not a Kiss fan, I got to his house from travel, walked into his room. Immediately, there was a Cubes poster on the wall. And I was like, this is different. That night we went, it was around Easter, so it's really close to now. That night we went into the downstairs. They had one of those giant pieces of furniture that you lifted up the lid and it had a record player and an 8-track player. He put on the headphones for me. I had not heard Destroyer at this point. So we were really close to April. So it'd been out, a few weeks, I guess, at this point. He puts it on. I had not heard it yet, and I listened to it with the headphones with the long curly Q, wire. Yeah. Easter comes like a day or two later. I go to open my awesome Easter basket, which apparently the bunny found me in Georgia, and in the basket, a Cubes poster for Joe.
Nice.
Yeah, I have it right over there, and it's autographed by the entire band. It's in shape like it's from way back then. So
that's great. They're very cool.
And I am, as far as timeline goes, I think I'm putting it together right. Somebody is watching and going, that poster didn't come, or maybe it was already out because it might not have come out to Love Gun, actually. So it might not have been the Cubes poster that I got. So now I screwed up the story. It doesn't matter. It all is awesome. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys a couple of other things here. You know, Rolling Stone magazine, not big fans of Kiss. That has
we know that.
Lily Tomlin on the cover.
I think that's Ace Frehley without makeup, here, isn't it?
Yes. Look here. See how it says Kiss?
Yeah.
The cover says Pagan Beasties of Teenage Rock.
Unreal.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically scan this in so you guys could read it during the week if you want. Look at this though. For a magazine that did not like Kiss, look at this.
Oh wow.
And
is that for the release of Destroyer?
It talks about Destroyer. It is one. Look.
Yeah, tons of stuff in there. That's great.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Is there more over here?
You know,
there's another page entirely. If you guys want to buy that online, it's April 7th, 1977, Rolling Stone. So it's what, 2-3 weeks after the record comes out.
Wow. Incredible. It's funny that, you know, that Destroyer cover, we were talking about it in the beginning. Do I think it's the best Kiss cover? No. I think a lot of people do think it's the best Kiss cover, but I also do think it's the most iconic Kiss cover. I think that's the image that's on more things Kiss related than really anything else. And that's the image, you know, it basically started the superhero Kiss, right? It started that whole bigger than life, bigger than actual people. These are comic book characters. That first drawing of that is, again, it's hard to take myself away from knowing that cover for so many years. But if you see that for the first time, it's magical. And, you know, you got to remember, Love Gun's not out yet. Rock All Over's not out yet. Creatures of the Night is not out yet. Those other iconic covers are not out yet. So that cover is so iconic because it's so different than every other rock band cover that's ever been released, because now these guys are superheroes. It's this amazing setting of this, you know, ruined world with Kiss in these crazy new costumes, posing like superheroes. It's beyond belief what that was at the time. I can't even imagine being a kid in a store and seeing that for the first time, and you realize why Kiss was as big as they really were. Yes, absolutely. We all love the music. We love everything about Kiss. We love all the stuff that goes on, you know, in Kiss world. But that image, when you go into a record store, if you're a kid, you must have it.
Absolutely. Let's look at this comment right here from Rocksmith, 3796. Destroyer was a necessary evil, commercialized, but took them to another level, appealed to more people. True. It's true. I think it took Beth, though.
Yeah, I mean, right. If you consider Beth, but that's like the comment. I wonder if Rocksmith is a little older. That's the comment I remember reading when Destroyer first came out. That was the comment, like, oh, Kiss sold out. This is too slick. This is not the evil, you know, the dangerous Kiss that we know and love. Of course it is. Yes, there's Beth on the record, but everything else, God of Thunder is the heaviest song they have to date up until that point. It's pure evil with the kids laughing and stuff. It's right out of a horror movie. So I don't understand why people think that Kiss got commercialized with Destroyer. I mean, obviously commercialized as far as merchandising and stuff like that. And Beth was the ballad, but still, it was such a heavy record.
Yeah. You know, I had always heard that the kid during God of Thunder is Ezrin's son. And if you go online, here's something really cool, guys. Go online and type in on YouTube, God of Thunder slowed down. And you can hear the kid talking, but it's clearer. And it's like, you know, all right, you can start playing now. It's like when you hear, you're like, whoa, you know. I wanted to read this one. So this is another Rolling Stone magazine. This is talking about Destroyer. Okay. Now, did you guys ever hear the story, and maybe you have, where Bob Ezrin says a kid said to him, you need to listen to Kiss, man, and you should work with those guys because they're awesome and blah, blah, blah. And that's the story that I've always heard, is that a fan turned Ezrin on to Kiss. Funny. In this Rolling Stone magazine, he's talking about it, right? All right. Give me 1 second here. I want to make sure I can see this good. So this is what it says. Bob Ezrin is being interviewed. Or this is going into that. So it says, for openers, the band's music has become an integral part of the show rather than a backdrop for visuals. See, they're already mentioning the music's better, right? They're mentioning how it's not going to be pushed to the back now. Now it's better. Moreover, as Ezrin of Alice Cooper fame will tell you, Kiss's momentum has been building for at least a year and a half. Ezrin was alerted to the group's potential by Mike Longman. They actually have this kid's name in here. A 16-year-old high school student who regularly calls Ezrin to talk music.
Incredible.
And this is a statement from Bob Ezrin. He said, "Oh man, they're great," Longman told him. The kids in high school love them. Only problem is their records are shitty.
Unbelievable.
Ezrin wondered why, if their records were so shitty, he should get involved. Because the group is so good, we buy their records anyway, answered Longman. I could hear a rumble from the street, says Ezrin, and I've always had a very good sense for that. I listened, and I knew Kiss was having a profound effect on people already, and they weren't even home yet. No airplay, no singles, no real big headlining tours. It basically goes on to talk about Kiss Mania taking over basically after Alive. If you guys out there, see, I always try to do this because I don't know how many of you guys are collectors. If you want to get this one, this is the cover right here. Mary Hartman's on the cover. Guess who's on the back?
No idea.
Think about the time and what kind of stuff was advertised.
I'm going to say weightlifting. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Tom Selleck and his Marlboro cigarette. Oh, no, these are Salem's.
Wow.
He was the Marlboro man, though.
Was he? Or just the Marlboro man looked like him?
He was a Marlboro man. Not on the cover, but in the advertisements. This one is March 25th, 1976. Okay? So...
Super quick, Joe. Guys... So, little updates. Keith LaRue just posted that the Ace Frehley band is going to be at the Expo as well, playing on Sunday.
Amazing.
So that's great.
I wonder if he's watching. I wonder if he's.
That's great. Obviously, Jeremy, Ryan, and all those guys. I'm so happy that they're out there doing it, keeping all those Ace songs alive and well. And there's no one better to do it than those guys. Super cool that Keith's bringing them in for the Expo. It says they're only there on Sunday. I think they have a show the night before in Nashville, he wrote. So they're going to be there just on Sunday playing. Be great. Be there.
It's amazing. I love the Expos seem to be back. This is good. It's good to have an Expo. It's good that Peter's doing the things that he's doing. Gene is doing Expos when he wants to. He's out playing live. It's a good time to be a Kiss fan. We've got a 50th anniversary of Destroyer out. I'm just saying, it slowed down for a little bit,
I think just the transition with Pop House had slowed down a tiny bit because they were just getting their bearings, trying to figure out what to do with the brand. And now we're back pretty much full force. I'm expecting lots of more box sets coming, hopefully some more off the soundboards. I'm still waiting for, it's the one thing that I think we're still losing track of is all the video. Where is some unreleased video? Where's the streaming service? Where's something to sink our teeth into to kind of really take over that video world that we're missing, those Kissologies. I know there's no platform as far as DVDs and Blu-rays and all that stuff is kind of gone, but Jesus, if vinyl can come back, let's start bringing back some packaged videos.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like, I mean, there's no real reason to put out a belt buckle. We don't have the, those kind of belts anymore. We don't keep them, but so they still release it. Doing a video, even if it's something that you could just go on iTunes and download the same, like I bought the Purple Rain tour that way on video.
Yeah, but package it, do it. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I know people are crazy, but I will guarantee you 7 out of 10 people who are buying all these vinyls either don't even listen to vinyl or they don't even own a record player. They're buying it for the collectible of it. They're buying it to hold in their hands and feel Destroyer in their hands again while listening to it on Spotify. Same thing with the video stuff. We want it. Like I have literally hundreds of Kiss bootlegs over here. I put them on all the time. I'm down in my studio, I'm working out. I throw in a Kiss bootleg. I throw in this bootleg. I throw in that. I watch videos all the time. And you can't always count on streaming services to have stuff for you. So I want those physical products so I can have it and watch it at any time I want.
Yeah. I'll put a call in.
Call your people, Joe.
Call my people. Okay, a couple of things, a little housekeeping while I've got you guys here. One, if you're looking at YouTube, right down there below us, there's a little button that says join. That's our after school program. There's 2 different tiers, 99 cents and $4.99. 99 cents, you get the after show, which is about between 20 and 30-minute extra show that we do as soon as we're done here. Click on that. It's $1. We take that money and we usually buy something that we give away on the show, on the first show of every month. Now, I will tell you guys, in April, I will not be doing that because I'm going to hold that money and buy something at the expo. We'll see what I could get. Maybe it could be, maybe I could find something, a coin that we could give away. That would be pretty kick-ass, something really vintage, We've always given away awesome stuff. I still have one more of these to give away. That our buddy Andrew made. They are awesome. And I know that he's done Peter, and I know that he's working on Paul. He actually sent me an email of him getting started on Paul, and it was beautiful. There's also a $4.99 tier. Oh, look, see, Jeff Allen just joined. Thanks, Jeff. You're awesome. And he's got the Three Stooges on there. If he's a Three Stooges fan, when we go into the next show, I'm going to tell a Three Stooges story that one of my students told me one time. Blow your freaking mind. It'll blow your mind. I'm not even kidding. The other one is $4.99 a month, and you get all the same stuff in the 99-cent one. Plus, you get an extra show every month. Private. It's private. Now, let's just go on from that. Let's finish with Destroyer. What are the stinkers on the album, Joey?
There's only one. It's Great Expectations. It's the only one. Everything else on the record is great. There's some stuff stronger than other stuff, but everything else is great. Great Expectations. It's okay. And again, I get it. Like that was a very big, I know Beth was there. Great Expectations is even a further stretch of what they and who they are, especially because that's a Gene voice I feel like we haven't heard up until that point. It's very it almost feels like it should be on Gene's solo record.
Yeah. I messaged Keith LaRue before we got started, and because I wanted to know if I needed to bring anything to get signed by Barry Levine. And all he wrote was, "Oh, don't you worry. I've got that covered." I was like, all right.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, I asked, hey, Keith, do you know if Barry Levine is going to have maybe pictures to sign, or do we have to bring our own stuff?
Right.
You know, you see what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be traveling before I'm going to Florida, then I'm flying to Indianapolis. God, do I want to carry poster tubes? And yes, but not really. Also, I will tell you guys that when I'm in Indianapolis, I will be hanging out with Xander from Kiss Army Things, Jeff Trott, who made these posters up here. If you guys want to get Jeff to sign your poster, if you have one and you can bring it, bring it. I'll tell him, dude, you're signing. John Prescott, thanks for joining. Totally appreciate it. That's a cool Ace 8x10 there.
Get the powerful and attractive Jeff Trott to sign Order of the Rose and the Kiss drummer book as well. He did the logos for both of those. So
yes,
check out both of those.
We're rooming together. I hope he doesn't snore.
Uh-oh. I've heard other things that he does. Never mind.
Well, I don't know anything about this. We're going to have to talk about it.
Joe.
Whatever.
Wear pants with a locked Kiss belt buckle, if you know what I mean.
That's evil. I will tell you that I've been sitting right next to him watching Kiss karaoke on one of the cruises, and he had a few drinks, and listening to him sing, you know, he's got this really deep voice, you know, it's beautiful. It's like I have it on video somewhere, and he made me swear never to like put it out. So all right, I guess that's pretty much it, you know. Kiss Destroyer. Sonny, I think we'll be back next week. Joey will be out. So, and then we'll see if we can get Lee back here. She had some things she had to take care of tonight. Any final words?
Well, what about you on Destroyer, Joe? What do you think? Any stinkers?
Great Expectations. You know, I can't listen to that song, but here's my thing. I prefer to listen to vinyl. It's just fun to me. Take out the record, put it on, drop the needle. Nowadays it's different. I don't even have to drop anything. You just push a button and it lifts and goes over. Now I know fancy record players from back in the day would do that, although I think it was a click, like a side slider thingy.
Yeah.
I like to put the needle on and then 20 minutes later get up and flip the record. And I remember when I started, when I had vinyl forever and I did not have a record player. So I went and bought a record player. And the first time I put a record on, it had probably been 20 years since I put a record on. That's how long I've been lugging them around with no way to listen. I put the record on. I sat down on the couch. I started to drink my water. Holy crap, it's already over. I had to get up, walk over, flip it over. I remember looking at somebody and going, did we really do this all the time? Did we really have to? Because we were so used to CDs by this point where you get to listen to the whole side. I was like, did I really get up every 20 minutes? To flip this record?
Were you just sitting doing nothing listening to records? Like for me, I was either playing the drums along to the records or doing stuff in my room while I was playing records. I was doing stuff. So it wasn't like I was just sitting down doing nothing and having to get up to go. And first of all, getting up to go change the record when you're 12 and 13 years old doesn't feel the same as when you're 50, Joe, and something years old, getting up to go change the record. You're not thinking of getting up when you're 12 years old. You're up already. I hate to tell you. You're not sitting. You're already up.
No, it's true. So really what probably was happening was I put the record on and sat down. Probably open up a magazine or something. I have a ton of magazines, and I like to grab one from the era of the record and just thumb through it, man, and see who was in these magazines at the time when Destroyer came out. And there's always a Kiss article, of course, in any of the magazines I have. And I start reading it, and it really kind of like, there was a movie called Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve. Did you ever see that? Where
No.
don't bother. It's a romantic nightmare. It's one of those sad crying ass movies. But in the movie, he's in like now times, and he figures out a way to like astral project, I guess, is kind of thing. And I kind of feel like you can do that, just putting on, what I need to have happen is I need to put on like different strokes on the TV, just for the, or MASH or something, the record going, the book, throw my kid out of the house. And then it'll be just like the 70s, only I'm 55.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're kids, when you're listening to vinyl, you're kind of laying on your floor. You have the vinyl open. You're kind of staring at the cover, or you're reading the liner notes, or you're thumbing through the next record, or like you said, Joe, you're looking at the magazine that you just bought. You're kind of immersed in what's going on. There wasn't a lot of, you're not sitting down and kind of just listening to the record, staring off into space. As a kid, you're inside that record as it's playing.
It really, that this is a really good way, and it makes a lot of sense. Rocksmith said a record is an event.
Yeah.
All your comments tonight, guys, I've been following along. They've been great. Paco, thank you for putting them up. It's been really awesome. Let's talk one more minute, because I know we still got a couple minutes. Let's talk about all the little hidden signs that people talked about, like Ace going like this, fourth studio record, right?
Is that what it's for? Do we know that?
I think so.
Ace was always the only part of this cover that I didn't like. I thought Ace's pose was very like the other three are literally in superhero power poses, and Ace is kind of like, hey.
The story, of course, about the record cover is amazing. If you guys have never heard Ken Kelly talk about it, I'll tell you that this is something really cool. I have both Destroyer and Love Gun signed by Ken Kelly, rest in peace, and signed by every member of the band but Paul. So when I get Paul to sign them, it'll be every member plus Ken Kelly, the artist. And then on the back of one of them, I have Big John Hart and Lydia Chris signed it, which I think is pretty cool.
I just texted Keith to make sure that he doesn't let Paul sign your record, Joe.
Oh, that's kind of evil, but all right. That's the original cover. They said it was too violent, and they said that the wrong costumes.
Well, of course it's the wrong costumes, but the Ace is still, has that weird pose. Why is everyone else so powerful? And Ace has like this, I mean, I guess it's almost like how Ace walks and stuff, but I just don't understand. Like, that's the part of Love Gun, the cover of Love Gun, that I love. They all have this strength about them. That one, yeah. I think it's just Ace that has that weird little pose. If he's posed more like Peter is, and then Gene and Paul doing the Superman poses on either side, it's just a better cover.
Yeah.
Joe, do we know, was that, I think were they already using, no, they weren't. I don't think. I'm answering my own question. When the Destroyer cover comes out, and this is always something that fascinated me about Kiss in the 70s. What are the dates that the new costumes debuted? When the Destroyer cover comes out, is that the first time the world sees those new costumes?
So I can tell you this. I have seen video of Kiss playing in, I believe, Germany. Okay. And they are playing Detroit Rock City on that stage in their alive costumes.
Right. So do we think that's the Destroyer tour, or is that still the alive tour?
I think that's
kind of debuting Detroit Rock City.
Yes, I think that they're showing Detroit Rock City and saying this is coming off our new album, something like that. It's an interview with them backstage and all this other stuff. It's very interesting. If I could find that video, I'll post it on our Facebook account. And it's really cool.
It just fascinated me too, like the presence of mind back then to have they would have costumes for the new album and the new tour and leave those for that host cycle. It's just mesmerizing that they had that presence of mind that, they would change their look upon the new release fully, and things would, and they would wear that same costume night after night on the same tour. You know what I mean? Like, it could have easily been, oh, I'm wearing this chest piece tonight and these boots, and you know what I mean? It could have been very mishmashed. To have the presence of mind to say, nope, this is Destroyer. Here are our locked costumes for this run. Here are the Love Gun costumes locked for this run. Here are the Creatures of the Night costumes locked for this run. It's just, right. It's mind-blowing when you look back at stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that's really interesting to me. And you being a professional musician that's put out records and everything else, but we've never put out records at the frequency rate that Kiss did. Right. And when I meet Paul Stanley to get my record signed in Indy, unless you really made a call to Keith, that's going to be a question that I want to ask. I want to go, when did you have time to write these songs? But also for Peter, Gene, and Ace to walk into the studio and know them already to record them, or did they learn it right there in the studio? How do you think that worked?
Yeah, I think, big bands back then, especially, and even today, you're not renting studios to just record. You're renting the studio out to do pre-production, which means, Paul could have this song ready to go, I Want You, and he'll have a little scratch demo of it, and he'll show the guys the day of, and he'll show them all the recording, and he'll say, okay, this is the song. They'll kind of try to run it a couple times, each of them learning their parts and kind of writing their own shtick to it, and then they lay their tracks down. I think it's as easy as that. It's not this big, oh, we're writing this song together and then we're playing it live and test running it for 6 months. And I think once you're up and running, you do that with your first record. You have that play time that you get a chance to play test your first record live, and you see what's working and what's not working, and then you go into the studio and lay it down. But everything after that first record, especially if you become a big band, you're renting a studio and you're doing some pre-production, and as you're learning the song, you're laying these tracks down. It's just how it works.
Yeah, that's crazy, because you think about, like, Peter would be the only one that Paul would have to go listen to the song. Here's an idea of how the drums are going to go. Let's go. Anyway, Joey Middleton, some bands do rehearsals for new songs before recording it. Yeah, I'm just wondering where Kiss had time, because they just kept coming out, that 2 a year. So I'll ask him. I'll let you know. I'm going to buy some Google glasses and go in and film the whole thing. There's a little light on it. I'm not really doing that. I don't have that kind of.
Don't let him in.
I don't have that kind of money. Anyway, all right. This has been a lot of fun. We're going over now to the private side, members only. If you guys haven't joined yet, you got about 5 minutes to join. It's just $1. Join. And then don't forget, we do a giveaway every month. Joey, you have anything to add?
If you're not a member, I would sign up tonight, because the reason why Sonny's not here tonight, you didn't know, he's going to be on the after show. I have him hog-tied right now. He's naked. He's going to be on the show. Tune in. You're going to see him on a table with an apple in his mouth. It's going to be fantastic. But no, to recap everything, great show. Destroyer, again, if it's one of those records that I think if I have to tell someone, hey, you don't know Kiss, this is the record I'm going to give them. So it's just one of those all-time records. As far as me, check me out on social media. Of course, I got Twisted Sister dates. I believe the first quick run of dates being announced this week. So nice. Stay tuned online, whether I post it or go on to Twisted Sister. I'd love to see some of you guys out there checking out the band. It's going to be great.
You guys know what I'm going to say. We love Kiss, and we love Kiss podcasts, most of them anyway. And you're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love right after this in 3, 2, 1. Peace.